I'd served 1,000 men who thought power made them gods. Dante Moretti was the first who looked at me like I'd already blasphemed. The restaurant had cleared out by 11, unusual for a Friday, but Marco, my manager, had that pinched look he got when important people called ahead. I was wiping down the bar when they walked in. 6 men in suits that cost more than my annual rent, moving like sharks in shallow water. The one in front didn't need to announce himself. Authority leaked from him like expensive cologne, dark hair swept back, jaw carved from something unforgiving, eyes the color of winter storms. He sat at the center table, and the others formed a perimeter without being told. "We're technically closed," I said, not looking up from the wine glass I was polishing. Silence, the kind that has weight. I glanced over. He was staring at me with an expression I couldn't name. Not anger, something more calculating. "You don't recognize me." His voice was low, textured like aged whiskey. "Should I?" One of his men stepped forward. But Dante, I didn't know his name yet. But I knew it was Dante the way you know a storm is coming, raised one finger. The man stopped mid-stride. "Espresso," Dante said. "And whatever you recommend." I should have been afraid. Marco had vanished into the back. The streets outside were empty. These men had the kind of stillness that came before violence. Instead, I felt irritated. I made his espresso with the same precision I gave everyone, pulled out the tiramisu I'd made that morning, and set both in front of him without ceremony. He took a sip, paused, took another. "You made this?" "The coffee or the dessert?" "Both." "Yes." He ate slowly, deliberately, like he was solving a puzzle. I went back to closing duties, ignoring the weight of 6 pairs of eyes on my spine. "What's your name?" he asked. "Nina." "Nina." He said it like he was tasting it. "How long have you worked here?" 3 years. "And before that?" I turned, leaning, against the bar. "Is this an interview?" His mouth curved, not quite a smile. "Market research. Then you should know I'm not for sale." The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. One of his men shifted, hand moving toward his jacket. But Dante was still watching me with that unreadable expression. "Everyone's for sale, Nina. It's just a matter of price." I walked over to his table, close enough to smell cedar and gunpowder, close enough to see the small scar above his left eyebrow. "You're wrong," I said quietly. "Power can't buy loyalty. It can buy obedience, fear, silence, but not loyalty. That has to be earned." For 3 heartbeats, no one moved. Then Dante stood slowly, unfolding to his full height. He was taller than I'd expected, broader. He reached into his jacket and I tensed, but he pulled out a leather wallet, extracting a black card. "Keep the change," he said, placing it on the table beside a $100 bill. "And think about what I said. Everything has a knot, price. You just haven't found yours yet." They left like smoke, there and gone. I locked the door behind them, hands steadier than they should have been. Marco emerged from the back, face pale. "Do you have any idea who that was?" "A customer with opinions about economics. That was Dante Moretti. He owns half of Chicago. The other half just hasn't admitted it yet." My stomach dropped, but I kept my voice level. "Well, he tips well." Marco grabbed my shoulders. "Nina, listen to me. Men like that don't just walk into places. They own them or they burn them down. If he came here, it means something." I went home that night to my studio apartment above the Vietnamese bakery, double-locked the door, and told myself Marco was being paranoid. I believed it until I opened my door the next morning. A manila envelope lay across the threshold, too thick to have been slipped underneath, too precisely placed to be accidental. Inside was a marriage contract. My name was already signed at the back, bottom in ink I'd never touched. Across from it, in bold slashing script, Dante Moretti. Clipped to the front page was a note on heavy cardstock. "You said loyalty must be earned. I'm a patient man. You have 48 hours to appear at the address below. Alone." My hands shook as I read the address. I knew that building everyone in Chicago did. The Moretti Tower. 40 stories of glass and steel and secrets. I looked at the contract again. Saw the clause about protection and provision. Saw my coffee-stained apartment reflected in the window. Saw 3 years of barely surviving, of night classes I couldn't afford, of dreams deferred. Saw the careful, deliberate signature of a man who'd probably never heard the word no in his life. I should have called the police. Should have run. Should have done anything except what I did. I pulled out my phone and took a photo of the contract. Then I got dressed for war. The Moretti Tower didn't have a reception desk, it had a checkpoint. The security guard took one look at the envelope in my hands and picked up a phone. 30 seconds later, I was being escorted to a private elevator by a woman in a suit sharp enough to cut glass. She didn't speak. Neither did I. The elevator opened directly into a penthouse office that could have fit my entire apartment 6 times over. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city like a kingdom. Everything was black marble and dark wood, and the kind of wealth that didn't need to announce itself. Dante stood with his back to me, phone pressed to his ear. "No," he said quietly. He had 3 chances. Handle it. He ended the call and turned. In daylight, he was somehow more dangerous, the sharp angles of his face, the controlled stillness of his body, the way his eyes tracked my every movement like I was a problem he was calculating solutions for. "You came," he said. I threw the contract on his desk. "What the hell is this?" "A proposal. A proposal requires both parties to agree. This is a demand." He walked around the desk, each step measured. "You're right. Let me rephrase." He stopped 3 feet away. "Marry me, Nina Castellano." The use of my full name stopped me cold. "How do you—" "I know everything." He picked up a tablet from his desk, swiped through screens. "Nina Marie Castellano. 26. Parents died in a car accident when you were 19, drunk driver. Never caught. You dropped out of nursing school to work full-time. No criminal record. No debt beyond student loans. No relationships in the past 2 years." He looked up. "You're alone. Unprotected. Vulnerable." Rage burned through my chest. "You had me investigated." "Of course. Why?" "Because I don't make investments without research. I'm not an investment. You are now." He set down the tablet. "Last night, you insulted me in front of my men. Do you understand what that means? That you have a fragile ego?" His jaw tightened, the first crack in his control. "It means someone will try to use you against me." Word is already spreading that Dante Moretti was challenged by a waitress and walked away. In my world, that makes you either a weapon or a weakness. That's not my problem. It became your problem the moment you opened your mouth. He moved closer. "I can protect you, or I can let them come. Your choice. Or I could just disappear. You could try." His voice dropped. "I'd find you in 6 hours, and whoever got to you first would make sure I'd only find pieces." The casual certainty in his tone made my skin crawl. "This is insane. This is Chicago." He gestured to the contract. "The marriage is legal but temporary. 1 year, you'll live under my protection, attend events as my wife, and in return, you'll have access to resources most people only dream of. Finish your degree, pay off your debts, build whatever life you want. And after a year, clean divorce, settlement that guarantees your independence." He paused. "Unless you choose to stay." I laughed sharp, bitter. Why would I ever choose to stay? Something flickered in his eyes. "Read the contract. You have 24 hours. "I don't need 24 hours. The answer is no." I turned to leave, but his voice stopped me. "Your landlord received an offer this morning. 3 times market value for your building. He's selling by end of month." I spun back. "You can't." "I didn't, but someone did. Someone who wants to know why Dante Moretti walked into a failing restaurant and spent an hour with a nobody waitress." He straightened his cuffs. "They're watching you, Nina. Right now. And when they move, I won't be able to stop them unless you're mine." The word mine hung in the air like smoke. "This is extortion. This is survival." He picked up the contract, held it out. "You said loyalty can't be bought. Prove it. Show me you can stand beside someone like me and not break." "I don't want to stand beside you. Liar." He said it softly, but it landed like a blow. "You're curious. You've been curious since the moment I walked in. Most people look at me and see money or fear. You looked at me and saw a man who could be argued with." He stepped closer, close enough that I could see gold flecks in his gray eyes. "That's dangerous, Nina. For both of us." My heart was hammering. I hated that he was right. "What if I run anyway? Then I'll mourn you. No emotion, just fact. And I'll destroy whoever touches you. But you'll still be dead." The elevator dinged behind me, escape route. 24 hours, Dante repeated. "After that, the offer expires, and you're on your own." I walked to the elevator, stepped inside, pressed the button. As the doors began to close, I met his eyes. "You're wrong about me." I said. I'm not curious. I'm furious. And if I do this, it won't be because I'm afraid. It'll be because I want to watch you realize that power isn't the same thing as control. The doors closed on his expression, something between shock and what might have been respect. I made it to the street before my knees went weak. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Black car. 2 o'clock. Don't look. I looked. A sedan idled across the street. Windows tinted. Engine running. Another text. 12 hours now. They're getting impatient. I deleted both messages and walked home through crowds, taking random turns, checking reflections. The car followed me for 6 blocks before disappearing. I locked myself in my apartment and read the contract 3 times. By midnight, I'd made my decision. By dawn, I'd signed my name next to his. The wedding was clinical. A judge's private office. 2 witnesses I'd never met. Dante in a charcoal suit that probably cost more than a car. Me in the only dress I owned that wasn't a work uniform. I do, he said, voice steady. The judge looked at me. Every instinct screamed to run. But I'd watched that black car circle my building 4 times last night. Found a dead rat on my doorstep this morning with a note. Tick, tock. I do, I whispered. Dante slid a ring onto my finger, platinum band with a single diamond that caught light like captured fire. His hands were warm, calloused in unexpected places. He didn't let go immediately. Thank you, he said, too quiet for the others to hear. I didn't respond. We signed papers. The judge pronounced us married, and just like that, Nina Castellano became Nina Moretti. The name felt like a noose. We'll go to my home now, Dante said as we left. Your things are already there. Excuse me? I had them moved this morning. You had no right. I had every right. We're married. He opened the door to a black SUV different from the one that had stalked me, but similar enough to make my skin crawl. Your building was no longer safe. I climbed in because the alternative was standing on the courthouse steps arguing, and I'd learned enough about Dante to know he'd simply pick me up and put me in the car himself. The driver, silent, scarred, pulled into. Traffic. Where do you live? I asked. 30 minutes north. Estate property. 12 acres. Gated. Armed security. Sounds cozy. His mouth twitched. Almost a smile. You'll have your own wing. Privacy when you want it. And when I don't want it? He looked at me then, really looked. Then you'll have me. The estate was exactly as horrible as I'd imagined. Massive stone mansion, manicured grounds, the kind of beauty that felt like a museum. Cold, untouchable. A housekeeper met us at the door. Mrs. Moretti, she said with a slight bow. The title made me nauseous. Dante led me through rooms I wouldn't remember, all marble and chandeliers and art that probably had insurance policies, until we reached a wing that felt different, warmer. The bedroom had southern exposure, soft rugs, furniture that looked comfortable instead of expensive. This is yours, Dante said. The closet is stocked. If you need anything changed, tell Maria. I walked to the window. The view was achingly. Beautiful gardens and trees and sky for miles. It's a cage, I said. It's protection. What's the difference? He was quiet for a long moment. When I turned, he was watching me with that calculating expression again. The difference is, you chose to be here. Did I? Or did you just give me the illusion of choice? He crossed the room, not fast, but inevitable. Stopped close enough that I could smell cedar again, see the faint shadow of stubble along his jaw. You want honesty? His voice was low, dangerous. Fine. I could have forced this. Could have made the threats real instead of implied. Could have taken you the moment I decided I wanted you. His hand came up, fingertips barely brushing my cheek. But I didn't. Because what I want isn't obedience, Nina. It's you. Willing, fighting, choosing me even when you hate me for it. My breath caught. I don't understand you. Good. He stepped back. Dinner is at 7. Wear whatever you like, we're not performing tonight. He left, closing the door with a soft click. I sank onto the bed, pulled off the ring, held it up to the light. There was an engraving inside I hadn't noticed. Veritas. Truth. That night, I found him in a library that smelled of leather and smoke. He sat in a wing-back chair. Reading glasses perched on his nose. Somehow that small detail made him seem more human. Less monster. Can't sleep? He asked without looking up. Can't breathe. I sat across from him. Tell me something true. He set down his book, some dense economics text. About what? About why you really chose me. Don't give me the line about being challenged. There are 1,000 women in this city who've probably told you no. He removed his glasses, rubbed the bridge of his nose. For a moment he looked tired. Actually tired. My mother was a waitress, he said finally. Small Italian place in Little Italy. My father saw her, decided he wanted her, took her. He met my eyes. She was 19. He was 43. She never forgave him for stealing her choice, even though she eventually loved him. When she died, her last words to me were, "Don't become him." The air felt too thin. "But you did," I said softly. "Every day." He leaned forward. "Except with you. When you stood in that restaurant and told me power couldn't buy loyalty, you sounded exactly like her. And I thought maybe if I could earn yours, I could prove I'm not him. Not completely. That's a lot of weight to put on a stranger. You're not a stranger anymore. You're my wife, in name only. For now." He stood, walked to the window. "I'm not a good man, Nina. I've killed. I've destroyed lives. I'll do worse before I'm done. But I'm trying to draw a line somewhere. With you. If you'll let me." I should have been terrified. Should have run screaming. Instead I asked, "What happens if I cross the line?" He turned, backlit by moonlight. "Then we find out if I'm more my mother's son or my father's." Thunder rumbled in the distance. "Storm. Coming?" I said. "Yes," Dante agreed, but he was looking at me. I woke to gunshots. Not close somewhere on the grounds, but unmistakable. I grabbed my phone. 3:47 a.m. My door flew open. Dante, shirtless, gun in hand. "Stay here. Lock the door behind me." "What's happening?" "Now, Nina." He was gone before I could argue. I locked the door with shaking hands, pressed my ear against it. Voices, running footsteps, another gunshot, closer this time. Then silence. 10 minutes felt like hours. A knock. "It's me." I opened the door. Dante stood there, blood on his knuckles, eyes dark with something between rage and relief. "Are you hurt?" I asked. "Not my blood." He walked past me, went straight to my bathroom. I heard water running. I followed, found him washing his hands with methodical precision. Dante. 2 men tried to breach the east perimeter. They're dead now. He said it like he was reporting the weather. "We're moving you to the safe room until we identify who sent them." The safe room. Reinforced panic room. Underground. I'll be a prisoner." He turned off the water, faced me. "You'll be alive. For how long? Until the next attack? The one after that?" I grabbed his arm. "This is what my life is now? Waiting to be killed? This is what your life was always going to be the moment you challenged me in public." His jaw tightened. "I warned you." "No, you threatened me. There's a difference. Not in my world." We stared at each other, both breathing hard. His shirt was somewhere on my floor. In the fluorescent bathroom light I could see scars, old ones, layered like geological strata, a life written in violence. Who were they? 2. I asked quietly. "I'll know by morning. Will you tell me?" Something shifted in his expression. "Do you want to know? I want to understand what I signed up for." He was quiet for a long moment. Then, "Get dressed. Something warm." "Why?" "Because I'm going to show you." We drove in silence. Dante at the drive wheel. No security detail. The city was empty at this hour. All shadows and streetlights. He pulled up outside a warehouse I recognized from news reports, the one where they'd found those bodies last month. "This is a crime scene," I said. "This is my crime scene." He got out, came around, opened my door. "Everything inside those police tape boundaries? Mine. I own the cops who investigated. I own the reporters who covered it. I own the narrative." He led me inside. The space was gutted now, clean. But I could still smell something metallic underneath industrial cleaner. 3 months ago, a rival family tried to move product through my territory, Dante said, voice echoing. "They used this warehouse. When I found out, I gave them a choice. Leave Chicago or die here. They chose wrong," I said. "They chose pride." He walked to a far corner, pointed to faint stains the cleaners had missed. 7 men. I killed 4 of them myself. Quick, because I'm not a sadist, but I made sure. Everyone knew what happens when you challenge Moretti territory. I should have run, Should have screamed. Instead, I asked, "And tonight's attack? Probably retaliation. Someone who thinks my new wife is a weakness they can exploit." He turned to me. "That's why I need you to understand. This isn't about romance or protection or any pretty lie. This is war, Nina. And you're a piece on the board whether you like it or not. Then teach me the rules." He went still. "What? If I'm on the board, I should know how the game works. Who your enemies are, what they want, how to see an attack coming." I stepped closer. "You said you wanted me willing. Fine. But I'm not going to be willing and stupid. Teach me to survive your world." Something like respect flickered in his eyes. "It's not pretty. I grew up in Chicago. I know what pretty isn't." He studied me for a long moment, then pulled out his phone, brought up a photo. "Victor Calabrese, head of the South Side operation. He's been trying to move into my territory for 2 years. Is he behind tonight? Probably. But he's smart, uses intermediaries. Tonight's shooters were likely hired muscle. Disposable. So you can't retaliate directly. Not without starting an all-out war." He swiped to another photo. A woman, this time beautiful in a harsh way. Angela Russo. She runs weapons through the port. Neutral officially, but she feeds Victor information. "Why don't you shut her down?" "Because I feed her information too. It's a game. Everyone plays all sides until someone breaks the rules badly enough to force action. And if they target me again?" His hand tightened on the phone. "Then the rules don't matter anymore." We spent 2 hours there, Dante showing me the map of Chicago's underworld territories, alliances, blood debts. He explained the code, the rituals, the unspoken boundaries that kept the city from imploding. "Why are you really telling me this?" I asked as dawn started breaking through the warehouse windows. "Because you asked. And because..." He hesitated. The first time I'd seen him uncertain. "My mother never understood my father's world. She was kept in the dark, treated like decoration. It destroyed her slowly, made her hate herself for loving a monster she didn't comprehend." He met my eyes. "I won't do that to you. Even if understanding makes me hate you faster. Especially then. At least it'll be honest." We drove back as the city woke up. Dante's phone rang constantly, reports, updates, cleanup details. I listened to him issue orders in that quiet, absolute voice. Watched him manage an empire from the front seat of an SUV. When we pulled through the estate gates, emergency vehicles were leaving. The attack had been contained, erased, like it never happened. "They'll try again," I said. "Yes. How do I learn to shoot?" He looked at me, surprise clear on his face for the first time. "Range opens at 9, he said. "I'll teach you myself." Dante was a patient teacher, which somehow made him more terrifying. "Breathe out as you squeeze," he said, standing behind me, hands guiding my arms into position. "Don't pull, gentle pressure." I fired. The target's shoulder erupted. Better. Again. We'd been at the private range for 3 hours. My ears rang despite the protection. My arms ached, but I was hitting center mass now, more often than not. "Why did you learn?" I asked, lowering the gun. "My father started teaching me at 8. Said a man who can't protect himself is already dead. That's bleak. That's realistic." He took the gun, checked it with practiced efficiency. "In my world, violence isn't a last resort. It's a language. And if you can't speak it, you can't survive. I don't want to become like you. Good." He holstered the weapon. "The moment you do, I've failed you." We drove to a late lunch at a restaurant where the owner greeted Dante by name and gave us the back room without being asked. Privacy, I was learning, was currency in his. "Tell me about your parents," Dante said over wine I didn't drink. "Why?" "Because you know about mine now. Fair trade." I picked at my pasta. "My mom was a teacher. Dad was a mechanic. They were normal. Happy. Then some drunk asshole ran a red light, and they were gone. And you became alone. And I became focused. Nursing school was Mom's dream for me. So I chased it until I couldn't afford to anymore." "What was your dream?" The question surprised me. "I don't know. I never had time to figure it out." Dante leaned back, studying me. "You have time now. As your decorative wife, as someone with resources and protection. What would you do, Nina, if money and safety weren't factors?" I almost laughed. "That's a fantasy question. Humor me." I thought about it. Actually thought. I'd travel. See places that aren't Chicago. Learn to cook properly, not just diner food. Maybe right. I felt stupid saying it. I used to write stories when I was younger. Nothing good, but it made you happy. Yeah, then do it. I stared at him. Just like that? You're my wife. What's mine is yours. He said it simply, like it wasn't the most absurd thing I'd heard. Want to go to Paris? I'll arrange it. Want cooking lessons? I know 3 Michelin-starred chefs who owe me favors. Want to write? I'll clear you a study. Why? Because what's the point of power if I can't use it to give you what you actually want? This feels like a trap. Everything with me probably will. He leaned forward. But the trap isn't in the offer, Nina. It's in how easy it would be to get used to it. That night, I found the study. It was on the 2nd floor, east wing, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the gardens, built-in bookshelves, a desk that was somehow both beautiful and functional. A new laptop sat centered on the surface, still in its box. Maria appeared in the doorway. Mr. Moretti had it prepared this afternoon. Said to tell you the Wi-Fi password is your mother's maiden name. He'd remembered. From a conversation we'd barely had. I sat at the desk, opened the laptop. A single document was already created, titled, For Nina. I opened it. You asked what happens if you cross the line. I'm asking what happens if I cross yours. What do you need from me to make this bearable? Tell me and I'll try to give it. I stared at the words for 10 minutes. Then I typed, honesty. Even when it's ugly. Especially then. I saved it, closed the laptop. Found Dante in his office, door open, surrounded by papers and late-night calls. He looked up when I appeared, ended his call mid-sentence. Thank you, I said, for the study. You read the note? Yes. And? Honesty goes both ways. So here's mine. I don't trust you. I don't even like you most of the time. But I'm starting to understand you, and that's somehow worse. He stood, walked around the desk. Why worse? Because understanding you means seeing the human underneath the monster. And I can't afford to care about the human. Why not? Because caring about you would break me. Your world, your violence, your impossible rules. I can survive that if I stay detached. But if I let myself care, I shook my head. I won't survive you, Dante. Not intact. He was close now, close enough to touch. What if I promise not to break you? You can't promise that. You don't even know what breaks me. Then tell me. His hand came up, fingers ghosting along my jaw. Tell me every line I can't cross, every wound I can't touch. Tell me how to keep you whole. Why do you care? Because you're the first real thing I've had in 10 years. His voice dropped to almost a whisper. Everything else is transaction. Alliance, performance. But you? Your fury and honesty and stubborn survival, and I. He stopped, jaw tightening. You what? I want to be worthy of you, even though I never will be. My breath caught. This close, I could see the faint lines around his eyes, could feel the warmth radiating from him, could smell cedar and something darker, more human. This is a mistake, I whispered. Probably. We should maintain distance. Absolutely. Neither of us moved. Dante. He kissed me, soft, careful, like I was something precious that might shatter. I kissed him back, hard, angry, like I could burn us both up and walk away clean. When we broke apart, we were both breathing hard. Honesty? He said. Honesty, I agreed. I'm going to fall in love with you, and it's going to destroy us both. I should have run. Instead, I kissed him again. I woke up alone. The sheets beside me were cold. Dante had been gone for hours. I found a note on his pillow. Business. Back by tonight. Stay inside. The command irritated me, but I understood it. After the attack, the estate was on lockdown. I spent the morning in the study, trying to write, but every paragraph turned into Dante. His hands, his voice, the way he'd looked at me like I was both salvation and damnation. Around noon, Maria brought lunch and news. Mr. Moretti called. He'll be late. There was an incident at one of his properties. What kind of incident? Her face remained neutral. The kind he handles personally. Translation: someone was about to die. I picked at my food, thinking about the man who'd kissed me with devastating gentleness last night, and the man who killed 4 people in a warehouse without hesitation, trying to reconcile them, failing. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Having fun playing house with a murderer? I stared at it, blocked the number. Another text, different number. Ask him about the Riverside fire. Ask him about the children. My stomach dropped. I found Maria. I need to use a computer, one that isn't monitored. Her eyes flickered. Mrs. Moretti, please. She hesitated, then led me to a small office. 10 minutes. I was never here. I searched for Riverside Fire Chicago. Found dozens of articles from 6 years ago. An apartment building, 12 dead, including 3 children. Arson suspected but never proven. The building owner had ties to the Calabrese family. And in the rubble, witnesses had seen a man walking away, tall, dark-haired, untouched by the flames. I felt sick. When Dante came home that night, I was waiting in the library. He looked exhausted, blood on his collar fresh this time. Tell me about Riverside, I said. He went completely still. Who told you? Does it matter? Yes. Because whoever did is trying to turn you against me. Then tell me your version. Honesty, remember? He poured himself whiskey, drank it in one swallow, poured another. Victor Calabrese was running a protection racket. Small businesses, families who couldn't pay. One family, the DeLucas, they came to me. Said Calabrese was going to burn them out if they didn't pay double. He stared into his glass. I told them to refuse, promised I'd handle it. And Calabrese didn't burn their business. He burned the building they lived in, sent a message that I couldn't protect everyone. The children. 3 kids, ages 4, 7, and 9. His voice was flat, dead. I got there too late to save them. But I watched the building burn, and I memorized every flame, every scream. Did you kill him? Calabrese? No, his son, the one who actually set the fire. Dante met my eyes. I made it slow, made sure he understood what he'd done before he died. And then I burned Calabrese's favorite restaurant to the ground. No one inside, I'm not him. But I made sure he knew what it felt like to lose something you can't replace. I should have been horrified. I was. But I was also something else. You blame yourself, I said. Of course I do. I made a promise I couldn't keep. You were trying to help. Intent doesn't resurrect children, Nina. He set down his glass with controlled precision. This is what I am. A man who makes promises he can't keep and destroys people when they make me look weak. If that changes how you see me, I understand. I stood, walked to him. It doesn't change anything. It just adds layers. How can you? Because I'm not an idiot. I grabbed his blood-stained shirt. You think I didn't know you'd killed? You think I believed you were some gentleman gangster who never got his hands dirty? I knew, Dante. I just didn't know the cost of it. And now? Now I know you carry ghosts, like everyone else. He pulled me close, forehead against mine. I don't deserve your understanding. Probably not. But you're getting it anyway. We stood like that for a long moment. Then his phone rang. He checked it, swore softly. It's Angela Russo. She says it's urgent. The weapons dealer? Yes. He looked at me. I have to take this. But Nina, whoever sent you those texts is playing games. Be careful. He left, voice already shifting into business mode. I went to my room, found 3 more texts waiting. He killed a child in cold blood. Ask him about Marco Vitale. Everything he's told you is a lie. You're not his wife. You're his next victim. I blocked all 3 numbers. But I couldn't block the doubt. At midnight, I found Dante on the roof terrace, smoking a cigarette first time I'd seen him smoke. Bad habit? I said. I have several. I sat beside him. Who's Marco Vitale? The cigarette paused halfway to his mouth. Jesus, they're really trying. Is it true? Depends on what they told you. That you killed a child. He took a long drag, exhaled slowly. Marco Vitale was 16. Looked 12. Worked as a runner for the Calabrese family. He stubbed out the cigarette. He shot one of my men in the back during a meeting. Killed him. When we caught Marco, he pulled a gun on me. So you killed him. So I defended myself. But yes, I killed him. And every year on the anniversary, I put flowers on his grave and apologized to his mother. I stared at him. You what? His mother. She works at a bakery in Little Italy. Never knew her son was involved with Calabrese. I make sure she's taken care of, anonymously. That doesn't bring him back. No. but it's all I can do. He looked at me. I'm not asking for forgiveness, Nina. I'm just giving you truth, like you asked. They're trying to break us apart, I said. They're succeeding? No. I took his hand. They're just proving you were right. Understanding you is worse than hating you. Why? Because now I can't leave without wondering what happens to you when I'm gone. He kissed my palm. You could still run. I'd let you go. Liar. Maybe. He smiled small, sad. But I'd try. Thunder rumbled. The first drops of rain began to fall. We stayed on the roof, getting soaked, holding onto something neither of us could name. The betrayal came from inside. 3 days of quiet. 3 days of Dante teaching me the business, showing me the Empire's machinery. 3 days of almost normal, if you ignored the armed guards and bulletproof cars. Then Marcus Dante's head of security, the man who'd driven us from the courthouse, was found dead in his apartment. Single gunshot. Clean. Dante was stone-faced at the scene. Who found him? Cleaning service, one of his men said. Called it in 2 hours ago. Who else knows? Just us. Police are on payroll, they'll rule it suicide. It wasn't suicide. Dante crouched beside the body. Marcus was left-handed, guns in his right hand. Sloppy. Message? I asked quietly. Message. Dante stood. Someone inside my organization is feeding information out. Marcus must have discovered who. We spent the next 12 hours in lockdown. Dante interrogated everyone with access to his inner circle. I watched him transform, no more careful teacher or gentle lover. This was the mob boss. Cold. Calculating. Willing to burn everything to find the truth. Around midnight, he found it. Paolo. One of his oldest soldiers. A man who'd been with the family for 15 years. Why? Dante asked, voice deadly quiet. Paolo sat tied to a chair in the wine cellar, blood running from his nose. They have my daughter. Said they'd kill her if I didn't cooperate. Who has her? Calabrese. Dante closed his eyes. When? 3 weeks ago. They took her from school. Said if I told you, they'd mail her back in pieces. And you believed them? She's 8 years old. Paolo's voice broke. What was I supposed to do? Come to me? I would have helped. You would have used her as leverage. Don't pretend you're different. The words hung in the air like poison. Dante turned away. Nina, leave. No. This isn't something you should see. If I'm part of this world, I see all of it. I stood my ground. You don't get to protect me from the ugly parts only when convenient. He looked at me for a long moment, then nodded. Turned back to Paolo. Where is she? I don't know. I swear. They move her every few days. I just pass along information, and they send me proof she's alive. What did you tell them? About the marriage. About Marcus getting suspicious. About... Paolo's eyes cut to me. About your wife asking questions. My blood went cold. So they sent the texts, Dante said. Tried to turn her against me using you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't resurrect my dead soldier. Dante pulled out his gun. But I believe you about your daughter. He made a call. Angela, I need a favor. No, not a favor. A debt paid. You've been feeding Victor information for 2 years. I've let it slide because it kept him predictable. Now I'm calling it in. There's a girl. 8 years old. Calabrese took her 3 weeks ago. You're going to find her and bring her to me. You have 12 hours. I know you can. And Angela? If anything happens to that child, I'm burning your entire operation to the ground and salting the earth. He hung up. Thank you, Paolo whispered. Don't thank me yet. Dante crouched down. You're dead. As of tonight, everyone believes I executed you for the betrayal. You'll disappear. New identity. New city, far from Chicago. When your daughter is safe, you'll both vanish, but you'll never come back. And if I ever see you again, I'll finish this. I understand. Dante stood. Get him out. Stage the scene. Make it believable. 2 men untied Paolo. Led him away. I stood there, trying to process what I'd just witnessed. You let him live, I said. I let a father live. The traitor is dead. Dante holstered his gun. There's a difference, is there? Or are you just drawing arbitrary lines to pretend you have principles? His jaw tightened. You think I should have killed him. I think you're making decisions that could get you killed because you're trying to be someone you're not. And who am I, Nina? Tell me. Because apparently you've figured it out. You're a man who carries flowers to a dead boy's mother and executes people in warehouses. Your kindness and cruelty in the same breath. And I don't know which one is real. Both. He grabbed my arms, not hard but desperate. Both are real. That's the whole goddamn problem. I want to be better for you, for myself, but the world I live in doesn't allow better. It only allows survival. Then maybe you're in the wrong world. Maybe. He let me go, turned away. But it's the only one I have, Angela called at dawn. I found her, she said, voice crackling through speakerphone. Warehouse on Southport. 3 guards. The girl is scared but unharmed. Bring her here, Dante said. There's a problem. Victor knows I'm pulling her. He's calling it an act of war. Let him. Dante, I'm done playing neutral. He took a child, used her to turn my own man against me, tried to poison my wife against me. The treaty is void. Silence. Then, you're sure? Completely. He looked at me. Some lines you don't cross. He crossed them all. Angela sighed. Then God help us all. I'll have the girl to you in an hour. Dante ended the call, immediately started making others. By the time the sun was fully up, he'd mobilized his entire organization. What happens now? I asked. War. He checked his gun, loaded a fresh clip. I'm going to destroy Calabrese. Completely. No half measures, no negotiations. He's done. And me? He stopped. You stay here. Maximum security. You don't leave until this is over. How long will that take? Days. Maybe weeks. And if you don't come back? He crossed to me, cupped my face in his hands. Then everything I own goes to you. The estate, the businesses, the accounts. It's all in the safe. Combination is your birthday. Dante. He kissed me. Deep and desperate and devastating. I'm sorry, he whispered against my mouth. For dragging you into this. For being exactly what you feared. Win, I said. Come back, then we'll figure out what we are. He smiled sad, beautiful. Deal. Then he was gone, and I was alone with the war beginning outside. The war lasted 4 days. I lived in the safe room, reinforced walls, supplies for weeks. Monitors showing every angle of the estate. Maria stayed with me, silent and steady. I watched the news. Watched Chicago burn in small, controlled fires. A Calabrese warehouse. Gone. 3 of his businesses. Shuttered. 2 of his lieutenants. Dead. The news called it gang violence. Turf war. The mayor made statements about increased police presence. But I knew. Every explosion, every death, every calculated strike that was Dante. On day 3, Angela arrived with the girl. I met them in the main house, Maria beside me. The child was tiny, dark-haired, eyes huge with fear. Angela handed her off like she was made of glass. She's yours now, Angela said. Victor knows I took her. We're officially in this. Where's Dante? Moving on, Calabrese's main property tonight. He thinks Victor's holed up there. Angela's face was grim. It's going to be bloody. After she left, I knelt in front of the girl. What's your name? Sophia. Barely a whisper. I'm Nina. You're safe now. Your dad is safe. We're going to take care of you until this is over, okay? She nodded, tears streaming. Maria took her to get cleaned up. I returned to the monitors and waited. Midnight. The cameras went dark. All of them. Simultaneously. Nina. Maria appeared, gun in hand. We need to move. Now. What's happening? Someone's jamming our systems. They're inside the grounds. We ran. Maria ahead. Sophia clutched in my arms. Down corridors I'd memorized. Toward the safe room. Gunfire erupted behind us. Go! Maria shoved me forward. Turned back. I ran. Made it to the safe room door. Punched in the code with shaking hands. It opened. I pushed Sophia inside. Turned to call for Maria. And found Victor Calabrese standing 10 feet away. Gun pointed at my chest. He was older than his photos. Scarred. Eyes cold as winter. Mrs. Moretti, he said. We finally meet. You can't be here. This place is compromised. I've had someone inside your security detail for months. Poor Marcus almost figured it out. He smiled. Thank your husband for me. He killed the wrong traitor. My heart stopped. Where is he? I asked. Dante? walking into my trap. Right now he's assaulting an empty building while I take the thing he actually cares about. He gestured with the gun. You're coming with me. No. Yes. Or I shoot the child first, make you watch, then take you anyway. Behind him, Maria appeared silent, deadly. She caught my eye, mouthed, 10 seconds. I needed to buy time. Dante will destroy you for this, I said. Dante is predictable, emotional. He's become weak. Victor stepped closer. But you're interesting. A waitress who became queen. I'm curious what he sees in you. Nothing you'd understand. Try me. Maria was moving. 5 seconds. He sees someone who isn't afraid of him, I said. Someone who chose to stand beside a monster because she understood the human underneath. That's more than any alliance or treaty could ever give him. How poetic. Victor raised the gun. Also, how stupid. There is no human underneath. Just monsters, pretending. Maria fired. Victor's shoulder exploded. He spun, fired back. I grabbed Sophia, threw us both into the safe room, slammed the door, locked it. Outside, gunfire, screaming, then silence. I held Sophia, both of us shaking, staring at the monitors. They flickered, came back online, showed Victor on the ground, bleeding but alive, showed Maria dead, showed a dozen armed men flooding the house, showed Dante's SUV screaming up the driveway. He killed them all. I watched on the monitors, watched Dante move through his own home like death incarnate. No hesitation, no mercy. Just cold, surgical violence. He reached Victor, who was trying to crawl away. Dante dragged him up by his collar. I couldn't hear what he said, but I saw Victor's face go white. Then Dante shot him. Once, center mass. Let the body drop. Turned to the camera, the one watching the safe room. His face was splattered with blood, eyes dark, expression empty. He looked like a stranger. He punched in the code. The door opened. Sophia screamed, buried her face in my shoulder. Dante stopped, looked at his hands. His blood-soaked clothes. Nina, his voice cracked. She's terrified, I said quietly, and I need to get her somewhere safe before I can process this. The helicopter is ready. Angela has a safe house. I know. Maria told me the plan. I stood, Sophia clinging to me. Go clean up. You're scaring her. He looked at me like I'd slapped him. I'm sorry. I'm so... Later, right now, we save this child. The helicopter took Sophia to safety. Dante's people would reunite her with her father within hours. Dawn was breaking when I returned to the estate. The bodies were gone. The blood cleaned, like nothing had happened. I found Dante in his office, sitting in the dark. It's done, he said without looking up. Calabrese is dead. His organization is scattered. The threat is over. And Maria? Being buried with full honors. Her family will want for nothing. I walked to him. Look at me. He did. And I saw it, the exhaustion, the grief, the self-loathing. You saved that child, I said. I got Maria killed. She died protecting us. That was her choice. I should have... I grabbed his face. Stop. You can carry guilt for the things you did wrong, but you don't get to carry guilt for people making brave choices. Maria knew what she was doing. Honor that. He pulled me close, buried his face against my stomach. I'm tired, Nina. So goddamn tired. I held him while he shook. Not crying, Dante didn't cry, but breaking in whatever way men like him broke. Then rest, I whispered. I've got you. Outside, Chicago was waking up. The war was over, but we were just beginning to count the cost. The funeral was quiet. Maria's family, 3 sisters, an elderly mother stood at the graveside while Dante delivered a eulogy that sounded more like confession. She served with honor, he said. Deed protecting innocence. I owe her a debt I can never repay. Her mother approached him after. Tiny woman, fierce eyes. You will honor her, she said. It wasn't a question. Every day, Dante promised. She studied him, then me. And you're the wife. Yes, ma'am. He loves you. She said it simply. I can see it. That's why Maria died, because love made him reckless. The words hit like bullets. I'm sorry, I whispered. Don't be sorry. Be worth it. She touched my cheek. Make him better, or leave him. but don't waste her sacrifice on half measures." She walked away, leaving me shaking. That night, I found Dante destroying his office. Books thrown, desk overturned, glass shattered. He stood in the wreckage, breathing hard, knuckles bleeding. "She's right," he said. "I got Maria killed because I was too busy playing house to see the threat." "That's not—" "It is." He kicked a chair. It splintered. "I let myself get distracted. Let myself believe I could have both the Empire and you. And it cost a good woman her life." "So what are you saying? You're ending this?" "I'm saying you should end this. Walk away, Nina. Before I destroy you too." I stepped over broken glass. "No. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. You're spiraling, taking all the blame because it's easier than accepting that sometimes bad things happen and it's no one's fault. I'm the boss. Everything is my fault. Then you're God? Omniscient and omnipotent?" I grabbed his bloodied hands. "You're a man, Dante. A man trying to be good in a world that punishes goodness. And yes, sometimes you fail. But pushing me away doesn't honor Maria. It just proves you learn nothing." "What should I learn?" "That love isn't weakness. That protecting people you care about is worth the risk. That he kissed me, desperate, drowning. I kissed back, equally desperate. We destroyed each other against his desk, frantic, angry. Grief and desire tangled so tight I couldn't separate them. Clothes torn, skin marked, breath, shared like oxygen in a burning building. When we finished, we lay in the wreckage of his office, hearts hammering. "I can't lose you," he whispered. "Then don't push me away. What if I can't keep you safe? Then we die together. But I'm not leaving." He pulled me closer. "You're insane. I married a mob boss. We established that weeks ago." He almost laughed. Almost. 3 weeks later, I woke up sick. Nausea. Exhaustion. My period was late stress. I told myself. Trauma did that. But Maria's voice echoed. Make him better, or leave him. I took the test in a private bathroom. Watched 2 lines appear. Sat on the floor and tried to breathe. Pregnant. With Dante's child. In this world of violence and blood and impossible choices, I found him in the library, reviewing contracts. "We need to talk," I said. He looked up, immediately alert. "What's wrong?" "I'm pregnant." The pen fell from his fingers. "You're pregnant. About 6 weeks, I think." He stood slowly, like moving, through water. "Are you sure?" "Took 3 tests, all positive. And you want to." He couldn't finish. "I don't know what I want. That's why we need to talk." He crossed to me, knelt, put his hand on my still flat stomach. "I never thought." His voice broke. "After everything my father did to my mother, I swore I'd never have children. Never risk creating another version of this cycle. Then I'll terminate. I won't force. No." He looked up, eyes bright. "No. If you want this, I want this. I'll be better. I'll be the father my father never was. I swear it. You can't promise that. Then I'll die trying." I touched his face. "This child will grow up in your world. Will face threats because of your name. Will carry the weight of everything you are. I know. And you still want it? I want you. Both of you. All of you." He stood, pulled me close. "I'll build something better. Not clean, I can't promise clean, but safer. Smarter. A kingdom our child can inherit without. Becoming a monster. That's a big promise. Then help me keep it." I thought about Maria, about Sophia, about every choice that had led here. "Okay," I said. "We do this together. But no more secrets. No more protecting me from the truth. Deal. And we get married. Actually married. Not contracts and coercion. A real wedding." He smiled, the first genuine smile I'd seen in weeks. "You want to marry me again?" "I want to choose you again. Properly this time." He kissed me soft, reverent. "I'll give you the world," he promised. "Just give me honesty," I said. "The world can wait." We married again 6 months later. Small ceremony. Angela and a few trusted people. Sophia and her father in attendance, safe and whole. I wore white small act of rebellion, carried flowers that matched the ones Dante left at Marco Vitali's grave. When the officiant asked if I took him, I looked at Dante scarred, dangerous, impossibly trying to be good, and said, "I do. I do," he echoed. And our Diwan, daughter kicked for the first time, right there under my ribs, A promise, a beginning, a line in the sand. This far, no further. We protect what we've built. Dante felt it too. I saw it in his eyes. Ready? He asked. No, I admitted, but I'm here anyway. That's all I need. 8 months pregnant, I looked like I'd swallowed a planet. Dante treated me like spun glass, which was both sweet and infuriating. I'm pregnant, not dying, I said as he tried to help me into a chair. You're carrying my entire world. I'm going to be careful. Your world is very heavy and keeps kicking my bladder. He smiled, kissed my stomach. She's strong, like her mother. We'd decided not to find out the sex, but Dante was convinced we were having a daughter, had already started baby-proofing the estate, clearing out a nursery, reading parenting books like they held state secrets. It was terrifying and beautiful watching him try to prepare for something he couldn't control. The attack came on a Tuesday. I was in the garden, reading, when the first explosion hit the east gate. Security swarmed. Dante appeared within seconds, gun drawn. Inside. Now. What's happening? Remnants of Calabrese's organization. They're making a last stand. He was already on his phone, issuing orders. Angela, I need full mobilization. I don't care about the cost. My wife is 8 months pregnant. You're going to move your ass or I'm burning your entire another explosion. Closer. Dante grabbed me, half carried me inside. Safe room. You know the drill. You're coming with me. I need to end this. They want a war. I'll give them extinction. Dante. He kissed me. Hard. I love you. Both of you. Remember that. Then he was gone. I made it to the safe room. Monitors showing chaos. 24 armed men breaching the property. Dante's forces engaging. Gunfire everywhere. And Dante, walking into the center of it all like death had missed an appointment. I watched him fight. Watched him move with brutal efficiency. Watched him take down men with cold precision. Then I watched him take a bullet. Shoulder. He spun. Went down. My scream echoed in the reinforced room. He got up. Kept fighting. But he was slower. Bleeding. Another bullet. Leg this time. He fell. 3 men closed in. I couldn't watch. Couldn't look away. Then Angela appeared, small army behind her, and the tide turned. Dante's reinforcements poured in. The attackers were cut down, captured, eliminated. Angela reached Dante, helped him up. He was alive. Bleeding, but alive. I opened the safe room door before the all-clear sounded. Found him being patched up by medics in the foyer. You opened the door early, he said, voice tight with pain. You got shot twice. I've had worse. That's not reassuring. I grabbed his face. You promised you'd be careful. I was. They're all dead. I'm mostly alive. That's careful. I wanted to hit him. Wanted to kiss him. Settled for crying, which I hated. Hormones. I muttered. Love, he corrected. Touched my stomach. Both of you okay? We're fine. You're the one leaking. The medic cleared his throat. Sir, you need a hospital. No hospitals. Stitch me up here. You could have complications. Here. Now. My wife is due any day. I'm not leaving her. The medic sighed, started working. I held Dante's hand while they pulled bullets and stitched wounds. This is our life, I said quietly. Isn't it? Attacks and violence and constant threats. For now. But I'm dismantling the old system. Building something cleaner. It'll take time, but... He hissed as the needle went in. But our daughter won't grow up like I did. I swear it. How can you promise that? Because I have something my father never did. A reason to change that's stronger than the empire. He squeezed my hand. You, her, this family, that's my line in the sand. Our daughter was born 3 days later. Labor started at 2 a.m. 18 hours of hell. Dante stayed the entire time, holding my hand, letting me scream at him, looking progressively more terrified. You did this to me. I panted between contractions. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so... Don't apologize. Just don't ever do it again. Never. We're stopping at 1. This is shut up and let me crush your hand. When she finally arrived, small, screaming, perfect, Dante cried. Actually cried. Tears streaming down his face as they placed her in his arms. She's beautiful, he whispered. She's perfect. Nina, we made something perfect. We made something innocent, I corrected. Don't screw her up. I'll try not to. We named her Maria, after the woman who'd saved us both. 6 months later, I stood in Dante's office while he signed papers. "What are these?" I asked. "Territory transfers. I'm consolidating operations, legitimizing what I can, selling off the rest." He looked up. "In 5 years, the Moretti name will be associated with real estate development and venture capital, not crime." "You're going straight?" "I'm going straighter. I can't erase the past, but I can build a different future. For Maria. For all of us." He stood, crossed to me. "You changed everything, Nina. From the moment you told me power couldn't buy loyalty, you've been dismantling every assumption I had about what my life had to be. I just called you out on your bullshit." "Exactly. And I fell in love with you for it." He pulled me close. "So here's my proposal. Help me build something better. Be my partner, not just my wife. Bring that stubborn honesty to every decision. Keep me accountable. That's a lot of responsibility. You can handle it." I thought about the girl who'd served espresso to a mob boss, who'd challenged him and survived, who'd chosen to stay when running would have been easier. "Okay," I said. "But I'm redecorating this office. It's depressing." He laughed. "Deal." 3 years later, we stood on the roof terrace where we'd first kissed. Maria toddled between us, chasing butterflies. "Do you regret it?" Dante asked. "Any of it?" "Every day," I admitted. "And never. That's appropriately complicated. We're complicated people." He pulled me close, watched our daughter play. "Thank you." "For what?" "For seeing the human under the monster. For staying. For building this with me." I kissed him. "Thank you for learning loyalty." "Still can't buy it?" he said. "No, but you earned it." Maria squealed, ran to us with a flower clutched in her tiny fist. "Mama, pretty, very pretty baby." Dante scooped her up, and she giggled, perfectly safe in her father's scarred hands. Power couldn't buy loyalty, but love, honesty, and impossible choices, they built kingdoms.